Oh, good morning. Good morning. Here we are. I'm so grateful you're here. I feel like I'm the kitty, as Suzanne has said, with the wings behind me. I haven't quite figured out how to set myself up here. I'm going to grab a blanket. And as you're all arriving, please introduce yourselves. Tell us who's here. I love seeing you say good morning. I'm seeing Debbie Fisher. I'm seeing Tammy Hazen. I'm seeing Cicely. I'm seeing Gila. How glorious. Welcome and good morning, beloveds. And if there's anything in particular that you're struggling with in your life, body, mind, heart, or spirit, this is the time to also drop it in so that we can tend to it, because this is a really rich practice today. All right, gonna grab my blanket. All right. So many things I want to speak to you about today. But before we do that, look, here we are. I'll try to sit offside from the beautiful wings so I don't look like a kitten. There's an echo. Is there an echo? It might be until I start my headset. Is it just a little echo? We shouldn't be echoing yet. I mean, there'll be an echo because I'm in the studio space in general, but sound is okay. Okay, so maybe, Debbie, you might have two devices on. Otherwise, when my headset goes on, I'll be able to, that'll get cleared up here in a few minutes. All right. So we come together this morning and bring our hands together at our heart center. I welcome all of you here this morning. I'm deeply honored and grateful to be here with you. You come from so many different places across the globe. You come from so many different life experiences. And as we come together, we honor and receive the grace of our lives. So from this place, I invite you to place your hands upon your heart center and send the breath down and out the body on the exhale and inhale to the crown of the head, flaring the nostrils. Together we chant the student teacher prayer. Om, Om, Sahana, Sahana, Bhavatu, Bhavatu, Sahanao, Sahanao, Bhunaktu, Bhunaktu, Saha, Saha, Viryam, Viryam, Karavavahai, Karavavahai, Tejasvi, Tejasvi, Navadhitam, Navadhitam, Astu, Astu, Mavidvisha, Mavidvisha, Vahai, Vahai, Om Shanti, 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Suklam Bharanam Vishnum Shashivaranam Chaturbhujan Prasandhyavananandhyayate Sarvavigno Prashantaye. Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Bharade Kamarupani Vidhyaramham Karishyami Siddhir Vavatu Me Sadaya Devistu Nite Nityam Vibhudair Veda Paragaihi Same Vasatu Jihwagre Brahmarupa Saraswati Aim Hrim Om Saraswatyai Namaha. Om. Om. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. I'm seeing you from all across the globe. I love this. Canada and England, Beirut, the United States, Mexico. Loving to see this. Good morning, Leslie. Good morning, sweet Suzanne. Good morning, all of you. So we come together, and I first want to speak into our first light. Our first light for today is essentially about broadening our base. So on this day, broadening the base of your life, as if to say, may we not put all our eggs in just one basket. And may we also know that there is a deep and true body-mind complex that roots us both into this world, onto this earth, in connection with all others and with the divine. To bring ourselves into a broader base means that we are greater resourced. In this way, the base is body, mind, heart, and spirit. And in this base, this broad foundation, may we recognize and recognize the power of discipline in our physical body, dedication in our emotional body, direction in our mental body, and devotion in our spiritual body. So again, I welcome you to speak unto what's alive for you, what's going on for you in your body-mind complex. And it is complex, is it not? The body, mind, heart, and spirit. The complexities of this being human, the messiness of this being human. So please drop it there. Is there something going on for you? Like, what's your energy physically? What's your energy emotionally? What's your energy mentally? Where are you spiritually in your life? And as you're doing that, I'll just speak unto our sweet little, my morning hot toddy. I don't do this every day before practice, but this is maca. And I could feel my body last night being hungry before bed. This is about discipline, right? I could feel myself being hungry before bed, and also knowing that I tend to sleep more restfully if I don't have digestion to tend to. So I like to let the night come and have a relatively empty tummy. So even though I'd eaten dinner, I was extra hungry for some crazy reason. And I kept thinking I should eat something. I don't want to eat something. Maybe I ought to eat something. And then I decided, no, I'll just have a hot tea and go to bed. And I woke up really hungry. This is one of my favorite practices. Now I carry, as do you, Jessica, you can see it, and Mira as an example, a lot of wind in my constitution. I'm long and lean generally. I'm dry and thin relatively in all ways. Okay, good. I'm loving your comments. Thank you, Jessica and Mira. Thank you, Gila, for sharing. So this is maca. I put maybe 10 cashews, and then I put about a good heaping, maybe 2 teaspoons of maca root. And I put stevia. I put a tiny bit of raw stevia in here, and then hot water, and I blend it. So now I have protein and I have some root, right? Some maca root to help ground me and to help support my digestion. So this is, I could have had ice cream last night. I could have grabbed, in the old Brit many years ago would have done all sorts done all sorts of crazy things at that late hour. I've been known to make pancakes right before going to bed and slather them up with butter and syrup. I've been known to, grab some crackers with peanut butter. Not so great for this windy constitution. But I waited so that my body could digest life at night, so it could recover at night. That's a piece of discipline. So I'm just going to finish that. Any of you who struggle with anxiety, any of you who have a propensity, I'm going to set this down. Any of you who have a propensity for being very wafy, really thin-skinned. I mean, it's all part of the same thin, right? Thin hair, flat chest, long neck, long face. Like, these are all Vata nature. You can see it in my hands, the way I move. Also, there's a great deal of joy and inspiration, but that can, when that falls out of balance, for those of us who do fall out of balance in this way, we fall out of balance in the direction of being really anxious or ungrounded and unable to sleep. So beautiful. Okay, so we are in a time, I'm just going to speak into this in relationship to these 4 pieces, because it's all about lifestyle, and you can't separate yourself from this natural world. So thank you, Cicely. You speak into something super important. There's 2 things that are at play right now. One is a huge change of season, right? So the 2 really Vata vitiating or disruptive times where the winds of change are present are when summer goes to fall and when when winter goes to spring. So we're just a week out of the equinox, right? Settling into the darkness, moving into the darkness. Many of us in the Northern Hemisphere in particular have felt this really intense transition, right? Obvious transition of moving from summer into fall. Change in climate, different temperatures, as Jessica, you're saying, crazy wind, right? Some grounding is very, very useful. Also, we're at a new moon. Now, this new moon is a new moon of darkness. It's a new moon of reflection. It's a new moon of looking at relationship. It's a new moon of assessing. So there's a lot of sort of deep reflective energies that are at play, but they're coupled with a lot of mobility. So we're wanting to ground, but we're also feeling lots of curious, shifty, changey things as well. Mira's speaking into being, just about ready to get your moon cycle. So feeling that achiness and that need to really settle in and stabilize. So we're going to take this knowing of what's happening on the planet and how we are interfacing with the planet. We're going to take these things into our practice. So quite simply, it looks like this. It looks like this. The 4 pillars of lifestyle are body, mind, heart, and spirit. And when I speak about that broad foundation, this is interesting, Tammy. I'm going to speak to you too about this. Tammy says, I'm not wanting to go anywhere, so I'm making an effort to show up when invited. And maybe, right, this is just an exploration. I want to speak into this. Maybe you don't have to go anywhere when invited. says the one who, I cannot leave La Sagrada. I cannot leave this compound sometimes for a week. I might just leave to climb or hike or go for a run, and I come back and that's it, right? So trusting that as well. Teresa says, I'm in rest and recovery from an injury to my left Achilles. Yeah, okay. So Teresa, you might want to bring some oil with you to the yoga mat today. So you have that handy as well. Mm-hmm. Or some Tramil or some Arnica, if you've got those things, and have those with you as well. Tammy says, thanks, Doc. Right? I think it's really valuable for us, especially during this time, to just not move if we're called to not move. That's a great invocation. It's all about balance, right? And broadening our perspective. So, discipline, physical discipline. Physical discipline is so simple. I didn't say it's easy. I'm not going to say it's easy. I'm going to say it's simple. The seasons are changing. How do we begin to shift our diet to slow, roasted, cooked, rooted foods? Warm foods, wet foods, heavier foods. Do you see what I'm doing with my hand? Warm foods, wet foods, heavier foods, bringing those things, right, deeply into the way in which that we are tending to our body. This is the time to consider taking more baths, right? Baths with cream, baths with the oil, right? I've been known to I have a plastic, it's not very romantic, it's like a plastic commercial ketchup bottle, you know, that I have, it's like, has a little nozzle at the top. You might find it at a picnic. Mine's transparent, but like there's the red ones that are for ketchup and the yellow ones that are for mustard. But they have a little thing on the top, a little skunk that goes over. It's like a cap that's attached. So I have that. And a lot of times I will put that in my bathtub with me. So I screw the top really tight. I tighten down that little cap, and I let it just be in the hot water with me, just floating around. I do that because I want the oil also to be warm. So these are some of the physical practices, rooting our body, slow, steady practices on the mat. We're going to move into this. We're going to speak about this. We're going to move this way in our body. Secondary to that, so that's the discipline, like coming to it every day, even when you feel exhausted, moving a little, rolling around with a ball, rolling around like a cat, taking a bath, taking your time to slow cook your food, less rushing, less moving, right? The discipline in our physical body during this time is to ground and root, Then the dedication. So to dedicate ourselves emotionally is to say, all right, I can feel all these feelings, but I'm going to cultivate joy. I'm going to cultivate peace. I'm going to cultivate groundedness in my emotional body. I'm going to cultivate quiet. I'm going to cultivate going with the flow, fluidity. Right? So we feel into these pieces. Then tertiary to that, so third to that, that's the emotional piece. Now we're going to direct the mental energy back to the mat, direct the mental energy back to our dedication and to our discipline, right? So there's these pieces, sitting quietly, grounding, rooting, stabilize, steadying. So you'll feel these on the mat. And then finally, devotion. How do I keep blowing my heart open so that I'm moving my body, mind, heart in the direction of my highest good in my practices at all times? So I'm going to invite you here before we go to the mat. We're just about ready to go to the mat. I'm going to invite you to take a comfortable seat if you're not in that, and close your eyes and lift the corners of your lips and let your palms face down on your body in some way. So just perhaps hands down on the knees, whatever serves you best, palms down. Perhaps one hand on the heart and one hand touching the earth, whatever feels grounding to you, rooting to you. And I want you to focus on the exhale here. Send the breath down and out the body as if warm oil is moving over your whole being. Exhale, releasing, surrendering. Exhale, releasing, surrendering. With each exhale, see if you might relax the orifices that face down. Relax the nostrils. Relax the anus. Relax the soft palate of the roof of the mouth. Relax the bottom of the tongue. Relax the diaphragm. Relax the belly. And from this relaxed place, exhale and send everything that you do not need down and out your body. It's just like you're opening the drain, you're opening, we say in Mexico, las llaves, the keys, the faucets. We open the faucet. so that the exhale provides an opportunity to ground you in and of itself and releases what you don't need just for this hour and some minutes together, hour and a half together. And then slowly turn your palms up. And imagine that like a beautiful, soft, drizzly, warm rain falling from the colors of a rainbow. So the type of rain that comes when there's a little sun. It's like a tropical island rain, a little sun, a little haziness. Oh, a rainbow and rain. Let that rain fall into your hands. Just nourishing you with dedication. With an emotional presence. The softness and a gentleness. And as you feel and receive that dedication, you then take both of your hands to your heart center and you direct that energy to what it is that you've come here for today. If body, mind, heart, and spirit are each golden, pure gold links of your life, what's the one place of these four aspects you could focus your attention upon the most, and just make that mental note. Direct your energy to the body if it will be that, to your heart if it will be that, to your mind if it is that, or to your spirit if it is that. And then we raise the thumbs up to the brow, Chit Akesh, this pure attention awareness, the center where our life and our light and our life force all come together as one, all part of that which is whole, holy, and enough as is. So beautiful. And so as you're ready, we go ahead and find our way now to our mat. If there's something that was calling to you, if you're cold, right? If you're cold, maybe grab a sweatshirt or grab some hot water right now with lime in these first few moments. So you have it there next to you and don't hesitate to reach for it. This is not, you're not being policed here, huh? This is not about policing you. So just take a few breaths. I'm going to go ahead and shift over on the audio. I hope that you're able to hear me better. Debbie? Good. All right. Putting my little earbuds in. Sometimes I forget to take my earrings out. They clink around. All right. So I'm hearing the need for some grounding, for some movement of some of that energy. Okay. All right, here we go. Internet is a bit choppy. That's what I was just wondering. Hang on one second. Let me check something. We're back in here. Right, yep, I know I'm back, beloveds. Yeah, I was restarting the router. There we go. All right, we should be back on here. Better, yeah, much better. Good, see, this is how this works. Awesome, I just knew it. This is just life, right? You know, we can take these things as making us crazy or we can settle right in. We're in retrograde. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me see if I can get this out of here. Oh, I'm trying to get it over to, trying to get us over here to try this. All right, so we're on. Good. All right, we're going to do this, beloveds. Here we go. Thank you for your patience. Big bow. All right, let's do this. Okay. So these 4 powerful words in your practice. So you might also, from time to time, want to have a journal next to you as well. I'm seeing choppy again. I hope that you're not getting that as well. I'm not sure what's up with that. We're just going to have to go for it, huh? Let's see. All right. Let's see. All right, I'm seeing choppy again. I hope you're not. I'm praying that you're not, but as it may be, it will be. We're going to go for it, doing our best with what we've got, praying for the best. And generally, if it does get really choppy, what does happen is we are able to return and have quite an incredible recording. So we'll go with that. All right, so here we are, bringing our hands together at our heart center. Finding ourselves in our comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for us, is just good and right. It's just perfect. Corners of the lips lifting and nostrils flaring. We make this foundation of our practice strong and broad, steady and graceful, soft and expansive. We bring these 4 words in alignment with body, heart, mind, and spirit into our awareness on our mat today. Discipline. Stay with the practice. Stay with your practice. Tend to your heart. Remember what is possible. It's like kneading bread dough or slow cooking a stew. You are the stew. You are the bread. From this place, we remember our dedication. May our heart and our emotional energies and strings be drawn to the highest expression of ourselves. May we see the sacred in all things and feel the broad base of our practice and of our lives. May we see and know that we are able to direct and redirect our energy back and back again and back again, just like a child. We are not so grown up as we think sometimes. We are children of this earth and of this journey. And may we be devoted. May we be devoted to love. May love be our religion if we must choose. May kindness and a desire to seek first, to understand, to label less, to dissect less, and to feel the wholeness the oneness that we are as we are. And so with this, from this place, we're going to bring our hands to the earth and step our knees back. Broaden our knees and feel the breath. As we inhale and draw the breath in and up, exhale, round through the spine. Inhale, draw the breath up. Exhale, round through the spine. 2 more. Inhale, draw the breath up. Exhale, round through the spine. Inhale, draw the breath up. Exhale, round through the spine. Circle the spine around and up and down, around and up and down in this way. Drawing energies, filling, fueling, nourishing. Reverse that direction, let the belly surrender, circle around and up, and down and around and up. Again, down and around and up, and down and around and up. From this place, go ahead and with the toes hooking under, perhaps we step back and ground through the feet. We're going to move through our wrists. One of the powerful practices you can return to is Pavan Muktasan. Pavan Muktasan. You can find that in the library of classes offered on YouTube, and it's a powerful practice during the change of the seasons. So we're going to play into a bit of this today, moving through wrists. From this place, we're going to go ahead and cross our ankles and shift our legs out in front of our bodies. Settling on back, go ahead and circle the ankles around here, big circling motions, inhaling and exhaling. Reversing the direction. And then from here, squeeze the whole foot down and draw the whole foot up, and squeeze the whole foot down and draw the whole foot up. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. There it is. And then circle the toes all the way around. Inhale back, squeeze down. Inhale back, squeeze down. Inhale back, squeeze down. 1 more. And reverse all the way down and in and up. So if you don't have time to go to a Pavan Muktasana practice as such, you literally can just do this practice, right? Of exhaling as you squeeze the body, inhale as you draw the body back in and up. Coordinate your breath with your movements and move through all of your joints. So we start with the ankles. We're going to go ahead and come on into the knee. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. One more. Take to the other side. Draw that knee in and up. Inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale and inhale. Exhale. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more time. There it is. From this place, we're going to take that right leg back in. You're going to bring your hand to the foot and hand to the knee. We're just going to circle around here, big circling motions. I'm going to invite you to keep going with that. I'm just going to check our connection because the playback looks choppy, right? Yeah. Oh, so sorry about this, you beloveds. We've been pretty lucky lately. Hang on, I'm just going to check something. All right. We've been pretty lucky lately in terms of not having tech issues for some time, but today might not be that day. We bring that other leg up. We're going to draw the heel and the knee, and we're just going to circle around. All right, I live in Mexico. You never know what you're going to get here. All right, just makes us more grateful for what we have. Big circling motions here. Stay with us. Circle around. Do you see my beautiful hot pink flowers, my roses? I bought myself 3 bouquets of flowers yesterday. Who does that? I don't know, but you should. All right, I'm grounding through my hands. I'm going to drop my knees to one side. Inhale. Soften back and down. Shift to the other side. Draw back, inhale. Exhale. Draw back, inhale. Exhale. Thank you for your kindness and your compassion, Leslie. This might be one of our first practices together, and I promise our technology is usually better. Drawing back in and down, shift in. We're going to go one more time to that second side. There it is. All right, so here's what I'm doing. I'm going to take us through sort of an unorthodox Pavanmuktasan. We're going to release ourselves down. We're going to send our heels up to the sky, our arms up and over the head, and circle the feet around here. Like you're pointing at the ceiling with your tootsie toes. Big circles around, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Reversing that direction all the way around again. The breath is so important. And if you can inhale and exhale through the nostrils as the general default, and then every once in a while use the exhale out the mouth as your cleansing breath, sort of as a general offering in your practice. Draw the knees in, squeeze into a ball. Exhale, arms and legs up. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale. Now here, shake fingers and toes. So here's a practice of meeting yourself where you are. So physical discipline, showing up, emotional dedication, mental direction, and devotion. These are the 4. Joy, playfulness, kindness, presence. Release. Bring the arms up and over the head. Circle your knees out broadly together, in and up. Out broadly together, in. In and up. Reverse the direction. Take it out and wide and up and in. Take it out and wide and up and in. There it is. From here, we're going to ground those feet. You're going to press through the feet and lift the tail. So now we've got a little bit more blood flow, a little bit more circulation in the base of the body. Lift the tail here. If you'd like, you can bring your hands right on up. I love to open the wrist line, so I don't like to flex at the wrist like this if I can help it. I ground through the fingers and lift the tail right here. Grounding through feet best I'm able, lifting in and up through tail. We're going to inhale, fill, exhale, and release down. Let your knees rest against each other. And just go ahead and close your eyes here and rock gently through your pelvis. So feeling the small of the back have a little bit of a rock and roll motion here. Inhaling and exhaling. Tipping of the tail. 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, and 1. Resting here. We draw the knees on in toward the heart center. We bring the hands back and behind the hamstrings. We're going to rock and roll up and release down. So sometimes when we're really agitated, this is one of the most powerful practices I know, to meet myself where I am. So if I'm really PMSy, for example, and I feel a lot of pain in my body, I'll meet myself at that place. And then I'll take that part of myself with me for a hike or a run or for a yoga practice. And it's sort of like carrying with me a bit of an injured friend. But this helps me move my body. It helps me bring things into balance. I have to meet myself where I am and then carry myself to a new place. So that's what I feel we're doing today. I'm going to bring my hands and interlace them behind my legs and press out through the ball mound of my feet here. Index fingers reaching out long. I'm going to draw my knees in, snug in, and reach out gently. Snug in and reach out gently. If this is too much, let one foot be down and just take one leg slow and steady. Do a few and rest. Do a few and rest. And then cross your ankles. Come up and over again, and then bring yourself into a child pose. So feel the length of that spine, the brow touching down. Inhaling through the nostrils, audible sigh out the mouth. Inhale through the nostrils, audible sigh out the mouth. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more time. Noticing the shifts that are beginning to occur in your body. Slide the hands back. Press and rise up. Hook your toes under. Shift back. So it's very common for us to feel achier, sort of extra achier, as we get closer and closer to the winter time or to the major change in season. So we're going to send the tail up and open the feet. Notice how the energy begins to shift. Hip shifting side to side. Back of the neck is long. See if you can't soften through your knees one at a time and sort of make a smile line with your hips. So up and over to the left toward your left hand. Back off toward the near end of the mat and back up and over to the right hand. Back again, up and over to the left hand. Back up and over to the right hand. Back up and over. Back up and over. So now from here, go ahead and bring the heels of the hands to the base of the thighs and inhale. Exhale, round through the spine. Inhale. Exhale, round through the spine. Inhale. Exhale, round through the spine. We're going to use this inhale as preparation. And then exhale and round and come all the way up, all the way, all the way, all the way up. Shoulder heads up towards the ears, back and down, forward, up, back and down. We're going to step to the top of the mat. Shoulder heads back and down, forward, up, and back and down, forward, up, and back and down. 2 more. 1 more time. Hands back and behind, opening through heart center. Take a full breath here. We're going to press down through the ball mounds of the feet and lift and release. I wish you were here with me. I see what looks like a parakeet in my ficus tree outside. I love that. This Minnesota girl, northern Minnesota girl, is not used to having parakeets. Orioles, yes. Cardinals, yes. Robins, yes. Parakeets, not so much. Now, as you're ready, we're going to go ahead and open our feet. You could even consider all of this still as part and parcel of a bit of a Pavanmuktasana. Pavanmuktasana is that classical wind liberating practice, circling around. Those of you who are in Pilgrim, it's your inspire practice. You reverse the direction here. So all these joints, all these movements and joints are key. And here, shoulder heads up, back, down, forward, up, back, down, forward, up, back, down, forward, up, back, down. From here, I'm going to ground through my left foot and float my right leg in and up. I'm going to give it range. I'm going to take moments when I feel a great deal of tension, like here as I feel in my right thigh. I rest into it, I breathe into it. I'm opening joints, I'm using hands to massage. So Teresa, when you feel that Achilles that needs love, you're going to tend to it, you're going to arnica it up, you're going to oil it up. You're going to be so gentle with it as it heals. For those who might not know, tendons and ligaments, they don't actually carry their own blood source like muscle does. Muscle has its own blood source. That is a parakeet. You beloveds, there's a bright yellow parakeet in my tree. How sweet is that? I wish you could see that. All right, wow. That right leg goes back. Right, so because tendons and ligaments do not carry their own blood source, it takes longer, much, much longer for healing to occur. Pedal down through both feet, circle the knees around. Reverse the direction. So my objective here is not to turn you into a pretzely yogi or yogini. If there's anything, if I could say, what is my objective? It's to help regulate your nervous system. It's to help release the ama, or the waste product that's built up in your body, and increase your ojas, which is like your bank account of good, juicy life force. So I'm going to ground through that right leg now and let that left leg circle around. Right? No rules about how we do this. But just notice that when you get into a place where it's like, ooh, it's tight there, stay and really breathe with great discipline, with great direction of your mental energy, with great dedication, like put your heart into it, and with great devotion. Like this is all sacred, all of this. Right? Just feeling into these little soft, sweet movements. And then we're going to bring those feet down and circle the knees around. We bring our hands to our heart center. We bring our big toes closer than our heels. But if that means your feet are still apart and that feels best for you, that's enough. So we bring those hands right to the heart. We soften through the knees. We inhale and sweep those arms up and above the head. Inhale, thumb and index finger, rise. Rise to the tippy toes, release down, rise to the tippy toes. Release down, rise to the tippy toes, release down. One more time, tippy toes, release down. Circle the arms around. Big circular motion. One more. Inhale up. Drop your right hand down to the sacrum. Send the sacrum down with the heel of the hand. Let the left thumb lift up and off of the shoulder, but the shoulder's not lifting. The shoulder stays engaged. That left shoulder is like one of these wings resting down on the backside, but the thumb lifts up, and then we reach up and back. The right hand pressing down My index finger and my middle finger are like right at the top of my butt crack, and I'm releasing down from that place. So I keep the length in my spine. Rise up, release. Bring the left hand to the sacrum, right arm up. Right shoulder blade glides down the back body. Right thumb lifts up. As I'm ready here, I'm going to go ahead and exhale. Oh, yeah. Inhale and rise, exhale down. We open the feet from here. We're going to circle around. Big circling motion. Reverse the direction all the way around again. Other side. There it is. From here, we're going to bring our hands right on into our heart center. Send the breath down and out the body. Inhale, sweep both of those arms up and above the head. Thumb line and index finger ascend. Drop the chin, bring the head back. So here's where our head wants to go a lot of times. See where my head is? I want to drop the chin and slide that back. So I bring my head back over my pelvis. When my head's over my pelvis, I'm going to feel all of this musculature in my low belly engage. So there it is, thumb line, index finger ascending. Exhale from here, I'm in a forward fold. Crown of the head weighs heavy, back of the neck is long. So I'm going to just squiggle my feet open slightly. I'm at the crown of the head weigh heavy. Inhaling and exhaling here. Backs of the legs open. I'm going to shift from one heel. Feel the stretch along that opening of the right hip. Shift to the other side, second hip. Back in and through the first, open hip. Back in and through the second, open hip. Softening through both knees. Inhale, eyes gaze forward. Perhaps those hands come out toward the shin line. And then from here, we're going to exhale, ground through the hands and step both feet back. All right, so we ground through both feet. I want you just to shift from one hand to the other. You're welcome to roll those hips a bit. Roll. You might find you want to roll all the way to one side, back in and through the center. Roll to that second side, back in and through center. Roll to that first side, back in and through center. Roll to that second side, back in and through center. We're going to come to here, walk through feet, and then ground with the feet, maybe a toe length, big toe length closer to the hands. Bend the knees, kiss the earth, lift back, kiss the earth. Notice the relationship of my head with my spine. I'm not collapsing through my head. And then I'm going to go ahead and drop my knees down. I'm going to take it all the way back into child pose again. I can reach my hands back by my feet. So I'm in the fullness of the child pose. Inhaling through your nostrils, exhaling audible sigh out the mouth. And allowing the breath just to come in and out through the nostrils, waiting here for a moment. We're going to do a preparation for headstand. And I know this might scare some of you, so we're just going to be right here, but we're all going to do this. Right? Unless there's something you're sure is going on in head and neck. I'm going to bring my cheekbones much closer to my knees. And then from here, I'm just going to press and roll to the crown. Just going to be right here. I'm pressing to the crown as if to say it's the highest point.
Right? The crown of a queen or the crown of a king was worn as a way in which to bring them yet even closer to divinity. And of course, the way to that was through external resources, external power, which we know is not true, which therein lies the hypocrisy of the age in which we live, right? Quarrel and hypocrisy. But here we just reach our highest point on our head. So if you were being measured as a 9-year-old, imagine yourself in your 9-year-old body up against the wall and getting yourself measured to see how tall you've grown. There's a point on your head you already know is the point to lift. It's not at the front, it's not way at the back, it's right at the top center, slightly to the back, slightly. But this is also a place in the Jain Buddhist tradition. It's also the place that the soul exits when we die. It's our connection to the awakening and the expansion of the pineal gland, this mystery gland in our body. We're going to hook our toes under here and shift our weight back. Go ahead and slowly lift the head. Feel how that feels, just like coming out of a headstand. So know that you can always go to that anytime a teacher says, hey, we're going to do headstand. That might be just right where you go. That might be what feels just true and right for you. Feel how the body is just flooded with such goodness. Imagine waking up just like you feel right now in this depth of presence. Huh? So we're going to walk ourselves forward, shift our belly down to the earth, lengthen through our rib cage, bring our hands back, and just lift and release here, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. So I'm going to invite you to go ahead and draw your right foot in toward your buttocks. Reach back for that right ankle if you can get it. With both hands, perhaps interlacing at the ankle and then lifting the chest. Perhaps you lift that right knee up off of the earth. But if the tension goes into the knee, then we either need to flex the ankle and push the foot further away, or we need to release it back down and release the grip. But there's no reason to hold this in a place where the knee is harboring the work. Release down. Take that other foot hip, interlacing, lifting. First, we just press the foot into the hands, inhaling and exhaling. Then we're going to lift that leg. Lift the torso here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Mm. 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 And release down. From here, we're going to ground the hands by the ribs. Inhale, our first cobra. Releasing down. Inhale, rise. Releasing down. Inhale, rise. Releasing down. This time we're going to rise up in cobra. Snug the shoulder blades down the back side of the body. Doesn't have to be a high cobra. Perhaps you're here. Keep the big toes on the earth and take 5 breaths. We release. We'll hook those toes under now. Draw the breath, inhaling, ascending, and send the tail to the sky. Pedal from foot to foot. Ah. Ah. As you're ready from this place, go ahead and step your right foot forward.
leaving that left leg back. As you're ready here, we're going to release that left knee down. If you want it to rest on a cushion or a blanket, always welcome. We're going to release the top line of that left foot. I'm just going to walk up this right knee, bring my hands, interlace them on the front side of the knee, and I'm going to wrap my right hip back, opening through heart center. There it is. I'm going to release the arms down. They're going to float right up through that midline of my body. Inhaling here. Hooking those toes under and press on up. Inhale. Bring the hands right on in into the heart center. So that left hip's wrapping forward, right hip's wrapping back. I'm going to inhale, kiss the earth with the back knee. Exhale, press through. This is one of my favorite practices for steadying energy, feeling strength in the legs and in the base. My third one here. I'm going to take two more. Feeling my bones and my toes and my ankles creak and crack and crick. That's that air indication. Releasing hands down onto the earth. Exhale, tail to the sky. So when you look back at your feet, you see that your heels are working their way down toward the earth. Ideally, you cannot see your heels, so you might turn your heels in a little till you can see them, and then just slowly work them out until they just disappear. Feel the arches of the feet lift. Readjust the heel again. You'll feel that little subtle shift in the calf. Toes are spread and down, touching the earth. As you're ready here, we're going to move into a plank pose. Hover forward. Release the knees and release all the way down to your belly. Interlace the fingers on the backside of the heart center and release. The heart center and release. We're going to take three more like this. So this next series of exercises, including this one, I find to be the absolute best ever to start with when we have low back pain, when we all of a sudden have developed low back pain from driving too much, from sitting too much. These are those practices. Rising, releasing, rising, releasing. Then we're going to go ahead and reach back to the feet. Draw the feet in. We're going to lift up and release down. Brow kisses the earth. Knees soften. Inhale. Exhale. So you're squeezing it all the way out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Exhale. Hands by the ribs. Hook the toes under, send the tail to the sky. Find that down dog again. As you're ready, take an inhale and then exhale, step that left foot forward. So you're on the other side now. Release the back knee on a blanket or a cushion if you so choose. So first of all, I just like to get in here and get into that hip release. Paying attention to what's happening in my left knee. If I feel a lot of pressure or feel a lot of weird stuff going on in this left knee, then I want to scooch my right knee back a bit. From here, I'm going to go ahead and hook those under toes. Oh, actually, not yet, huh? I'm going to come up here. Body just told me that discipline said you missed it. Right? So hands are at the front of that knee, and I'm opening right here. Float my arms up, inhale. There it is. Hands come into the heart center. Now from here, I'm going to go ahead and press up. So now I want that left hip to wrap back. I want my feet as if they're on a narrow set of railroad tracks, narrower than my yoga mat. Bring my hand to my heart center. That left hip wraps open. So my left toes are not turning in. When the toes turn in, that's the body trying to grip down, but you're going to lose your integrity of your pose. You want to keep those left toes forward if you can. Arms rise, inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center and lengthen through both legs. Inhale, kiss the earth with that back knee. Exhale, press. 4 more, releasing. Exhale, pressing. If I had an x-ray done, interestingly, my tailbone swings left. I can always feel it here. It's not something to be fixed anymore. It's something to be honored. Who knows if it was from cracking the whip as a kid, ice skating, or if I just, came into this world with a crooked tail. wouldn't surprise me. Press. A little bit crooked, a little bit black sheep, a little bit bonkers. Release the back knee down. I wouldn't be here with you now in Mexico if that wasn't the case. Ground through the hands. Send the tail to the sky. Such good work. You're doing such good work. Hang with me. We're almost there. Here's what I love for us. Ground through the hands. Turn your fingers like 1 or 2 degrees outward. Hover forward. See if you can lower down. Press up. Tail rises, down dog. Plank. Lower. Press up. Tail rises. There's 2. We're going to do 4 more. Down. Press. Tail. Hover. Down. Press. Tail. 2 more. Your knees can touch down. Tail. 1 more time. Release the knees. Release the tops of your feet. Sit back on the heels. Reach back. Get your buttocks out of the way. Broaden your buttocks around your heels. Interlace your fingers at the space between your knees or thighs. Crown ascends. Now here's the work. You can come back. So we're going to practice headstand again, just like you did it if you so choose, or you can take it a little bit differently. That's up to you. All right, so I'm going to bring myself back out. Sometimes I love to take a blanket. If I do a blanket, I like it really thin, really narrow, I should say. Narrow, grounded as such, and then hands rooted. Then I hook the toes under. So remember when we were before. So I had my knees down, and then we rested the head, and our knees and our cheekbones were close together. So if you come up and you're here, this is great. If that's where you come. If instead you root and rise through your tail, this is a headstand, y'all. This is enough. You might find instead, remember that high point on the head. If there's weird stuff happening in the neck, get out of there. I can lift one leg. Now, what I do love about this is if I ground through my hands and I float, I don't have to lift this floor leg, right? Sometimes it's best not to. Having both legs up does not make it more of a headstand. I might release that foot. Shift. Some of us are here. Others of us are here. This is a headstand too, y'all. Let nobody tell you differently. Press and rise. Maybe one leg floats. The key is finding a balance between the two. Your time. You might turn your toes over.
There's a doozy right there. And then release the knees down. Wherever you went, however you were, rising. Ah. Ah. Hmm. 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 You can feel how the discipline brings that dedicated, directed energy just naturally into devotion. How do I know my yoga's working? It's when I just sort of slip into this timeless, spaceless way of being. From this place, I'm going to go ahead and take my right knee forward, and I'm going to shift back into pigeon. Now, I want a few things to be clear here. If this right hip is not all the way down, then I don't want anyone to get in my way of me hoisting myself up and bringing that blanket right under that hip. So I have a soft place to land, literally. That's an important piece. If that right hip is down, then I might not need that blanket. For people who have a lot of vata in their bodies, like me, we are pretty flexible. It's like our joints are going to have a tendency to be hypermobile rather than stiff, generally. And so when they're stiff and when there's a lot of air in one's constitution, you want to pay really close attention because that's telling you a lot about what's going on behind the scenes. Here's another thing. If this right knee feels compromised, scooch this right foot out just a bit. Flex through that right ankle. This is going to be a deeper stretch for the hip too. So I really have to work. I can be on this right hip, but I really got to work to bring that front of that left thigh down now. And then I like to just reach down here. This is not classic pigeon. Pigeon is upright, but getting that good open stretch in the back of the right hip. I'm thinking also about Mira, you're here. I'm thinking about Denise and Rob. As far as having a pain in the butt. If any of you, I thought of this a couple of days ago. I got stuck in the car for 4 hours straight, and all of a sudden, I don't drive very much anymore. And I was driving, and all of a sudden, my butt hurt, my butt bone hurt. And I was like, oh yeah, this is that tension of having to keep the control on the gas. That's a lot of time for that leg to be engaged, deoxygenated. It becomes inflamed, overactive. Too much is being asked for it for too long of time, especially in stop and go traffic. It's not about going fast. It's about a lot of responsiveness and reactivity. From here, we're going to shift over to that right hip. I'm going to take this left ankle around and I'm going to cross it right here. So the left foot is going to ground right here. I'm going to bring this right foot back toward my buttocks best I'm able. And bring my hands to my knees again, lifting up through the spine. So you may experience this differently here with me than with other teachers. That right arm rises up. I soften right shoulder down. I feel the rib cage lift up and off of the pelvis. It's very energetic. And then I rotate, and I'm just going to take this right crook of the elbow and wrap it right around the knee. I'm not going to take that right arm all the way around that right leg. Now I'm going to float the left arm up.
I'm going to soften that left shoulder down. I'm going to lift the rib cage up off the hips again. And then I'm going to melt this down like I'm dropping a scarf behind me. And I'm going to rotate from here. So all changes of direction, like let your higher self, let your human being in you hear this. Every time we change direction, we want to be grounded, rooted. We want to know who we are, know where we're coming from. And then we want to lift ourselves up and out of it and take a vertical, non-dependent rotation from that place. Just like that. Deep and true. There it is. You release out of that. I'm going to soften back. Shift. Left leg's going to come forward. Right leg's going to go all the way back into pigeon. All right, coming slowly to an end. All right, feeling that shift here. Not expecting this side of the body to respond as the other side does. I sort of like to get into this the same way that I massage bread dough, make bread dough, or the other thing is if I'm an impatient cookie baker, when I'm in my impatient cookie baking moment, the butter's too hard. And I think, how do I soften this? The way I soften it is literally by sort of smearing it, right? So that's what and all of you who know me well know that butter's my favorite food group. And it is a complete food group. Butter, ghee, dairy products I love, but butter in particular. Really great. So massaging into this and then listening. I see now all of a sudden, just having been here for a few moments, there's just a much deeper release that's available. Now I feel it a little bit on the inside of this left knee. So I'm going to ground through my left hand and scooch that ankle out just a smidge. Now all of a sudden I can't go into the depths of my hip again, which is okay. It's just good awareness. Everything's sort of dancing together. And then I'm going to release down. I noticed I was just going to tuck my thumbs into my fingers. That's an indicator. So we all take sacred mudra on our own. When I tuck my thumbs into my middle, into my hand, I have a pretty good sense. I was like that in the womb. I'm just making that story up, but it makes sense to me. And I think that it's a safety practice for me. Like, so my body feels really tight in this left hip. And so my thumb goes, I'm just going to snuggle myself right up inside. I'm just going to go right back home to the center, to the darkness. Just trying to find a safe place in this earthen plane. As we're ready here, I'm going to rise up. I'm going to let that left knee stay. I'm going to float this right leg around, and it's the same thing, right? I'm just reflecting as I say this out loud. So if you're going to make a big change in your life, you're going to change a job, relationship status, you're going to sell your house, you're going to move across country, you're going to do any of those sorts of things. You're going to become a farmer, like, you know who I'm talking to, right? Whatever it is, you want to first really ground, like what's my base, right? Stability, rootedness, right? Where am I? Like, what's the foundation on which I sit and from which I make this decision? Then I lift myself up, right? So I'm going to take that left arm. I float myself up. I'm rooted down through my sits bones. I float myself up. I lift my rib cage up off of my base. In other words, I let my heart and my inspiration and the things that are creative and moving through me, I let those sort of be in a different plane than my root, than my need for safety or structure or tribe. Then I wrap around. So from that lifted place, that's where I start to make that turn. Now here's what I love. We make that turn, but then there's more to it. I float that right arm up. I reach that right arm skyward. I feel the ascension in and up through that right arm, feeling how the heart center rotates me. And then from here, ever so sweetly, gently, softly, organically, right? From here, I'm just ever so gently going to go ahead and do the same, round, grounding down, lift the rib cage up, shoulder blade softens down, and I melt the hand behind, and I take that full about face from a really vertical grounded position. Feeling that head rotate around. A couple more breaths. And then as you're ready, we're just going to go ahead and release. We're going to bring it all the way back to center. Bring our hands back and behind. Hover on back, uncross the ankles. Root down. I want to take one last little balancing for the hips. We're going to root through the feet. You've been here before. Lift the tail. This time interlace the fingers on the backside. Lift the tail up. 5 breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Slowly release down. We're going to take both of those knees on into the heart center. Snug them right on into the heart. Full inhale and then exhale. Release both knees over to the left. Open your heart to the right. Turn your head to the right. Hmm. Hmm. Gently and softly we release toward that left side. We bring those knees back in and through the heart center. Take a moment here, recalibrate. Draw the knees in toward the heart center. Soften both knees over to the right side. Heart center opens to the left. We gently roll toward the right side. Bring it all the way over to the right. Inhale. Exhale, bring everything back to center. Draw the knees in toward the heart center. Exhale, release the head. One more time. Draw the knees in toward the heart center. And then exhale one leg at a time. Releasing out. We'll just rest here in Shavasana for 3 minutes. Stay with us if you can. This is powerful practice. And as you're ready, finding your way to your breath, deepening your breath, corners of your lips lifting, nostrils flaring. Bring hands to heart center. Finding your way in your time, in the way that it serves you, over and up to your favorite seat. We bring our hands together at our heart center. We deepen our breath, sending the breath down and out the body on the exhale, inhaling to the crown of the head. And together we chant our closing mantra. Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamavevashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari Om. Thank you for being here. Thank you for staying. And today we had a bit of a technical challenge, but just loving you and super grateful. And we'll do it again, and we'll just trust that the technology gods will be with us. Thank you, and I love you, and deep bow. Bye for now.